Good morning, afternoon, or evening. I'm Jasmine from China, and today I'm so proud to be here addressing one issue that I really care about. We are now in the era of uncertainty. Why is that? We all live in a complex society in which one group of people dedicate their entire life to fight for gender equality. While it is crazy that we're still hearing news about women getting less paid, less educated, and less respected. So let me spend this 5 minutes here to show you several facts and break them all down for you. In the last decade, Malala Yousafzai, the Pakistani activist for female education, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014 for her brave resistance against the Taliban doctrine, which had effectively banned girls from attending schools. I see people fighting for equality and rights, and I see humanity sparkling. However, 4 years later in 2018, the Tokyo Medical University marked down the test scores of young women applying for their university in order to pursue a future career in medicine, just to ensure that more men can become doctors. At the start of the 2019 academic year, the Hungarian government proposed to ban gender studies at all universities in the country. These disturbing news just always pop up in order to remind us that ugly things against women are still happening everywhere, even we're all in the 21st century where the number of feminist activities are surging. Very recently in 2020, domestic abuse is added to the toll of the coronavirus outbreak. Mounting data suggested that domestic abuse is acting like an opportunistic infection flourishing in all conditions created by the pandemic. The Singapore police force reports that family violence have increased by 22% since the beginning of the quarantine period in April 2020. While the French police also reported a nationwide spike of about 30% in domestic violence at the same period of time last year. 1 in 4 women experience intimate partner violence. It is such a high proportion that my mom is already panicking if I'm gonna marry to someone who's possibly gonna beat me up in the future. But to be serious, there are far too many women and children. For them, home is a place of fear and abuse. Outside the house, there is the COVID-19 pandemic. Inside the house, there is violence. Which one is worse? I can't even tell. For those husbands, I don't even want to call them a husband. They do not know how to respect women, and their masks are just teared down easily when it comes to their difficult times during COVID because of the unemployment and layoffs. Why is this piece of news so astonishing and disappointing to me is because it shows a lot of things. It shows that there are a bunch of people who are still internally do not respect their wives and see their wives as someone they can punch and face easily in order for them to get rid of their grudges and angers accumulated from their daily life. In my opinion, gender equality is never about merely letting one group to take a step back. We never want to put men, women, and the LGBTQ groups on the opposing sides, but we have to ensure an overall balance. Domestic violence is intolerable because it largely breaks the balance. Outside intervenes are needed immediately to create a new equilibrium. We need the public's voice and attitude as a strong response toward bad behaviors, and also as a deterrence for future similar cases. Maintaining balance is not about condemning the whole gender group. It is focusing on those individuals who do things wrong. They deserve that punishment. The purpose of my speech today is to remind people that gender inequality has not gone away completely yet. The darkest, ugliest things are always hidden behind the scene, and they were just recently brought back to the public vision again due to the extraordinary disaster of COVID-19. Under dark times, real humanity shows. I concerned that one day our real humanity would become the inner filthy stereotypes against women. Humanity is at a crossroad, and starting from now, let's show our attitude against the villainy held still by, fortunately, a minority of men that violates women's rights in order to keep it from deteriorating into majority in the future. Humanity is at a crossroad. It is up to us people to decide whether to lead it to the bright path or just indulge it into the irreversible and despairing chasm. Keep in mind that women's rights are human rights. Thank you for listening.